Hi, and welcome to Yoga with Tim. I'm so glad that you found the channel and that you're interested in starting to practice yoga. Practicing yoga has really transformed me in so many ways, and I just want to encourage you to start to allow the practice to take shape in your life and be patient within it. I'm sure that you're really familiar with putting yourself through challenges and being patient with it and overcoming it mentally. When you start yoga, it's a lot like that, except we're going to be pushing less and allowing more. And what this is going to do, it's going to help you to find more balance in your body from all the pounding, marching, pushing, pulling. This is just going to help to balance things out. And what I've also noticed is that any experience that we have in our day, any stress, any trauma that we go through, we're storing that in our bodies. And if we can find a way to process it through movement, then we can start to decompress and allow ourselves to process all of that struggle and strain that we're going through in a healthy way, to release it through the body. So that's one of the great things that practicing mindful movement and breath will do for you. All right, so without further ado, let's get started. So I would like us to begin with just a little bit of child's pose. So what you're going to do for this one is curl your toes under and take your knees about hips distance apart, and then start to stretch your hips back as you push down into your hands. Come back up. Again, stretch your hips back towards your heels. Inhale back up. One more time. Exhale, start to stretch your hips back towards your heels. Release the creases of your hips back. And then hold, and we'll take 3 conscious breaths. So fill the side ribs, fill your rib cage. Two more times. And see if just holding there, without trying to push yourself deeper, just holding to where you feel the barrier of stretch and breathing into it, if the barrier can start to melt a little. So we want to start to apply this when we're holding each pose. When you feel the barrier, don't jam past it, be there and breathe. Okay, now come up onto your hands and your knees, and we're going to do a little hip mobility exercise. So now, without keeping your core engaged, your spine long, without your middle sinking, lift your right knee out to the side and just start to make circles with your knee. So see if you can mobilize the joint without the rest of the body moving around, and then change the direction. And then change legs. Keep your core active so you're light through your hands. Change the direction. And then we'll go into opposite arm leg stretch. So take your right arm forward, turn the thumb up, keep your ribs in, don't let the ribs sink, and then reach your left leg back behind you. Lower your hand and your knee down, and change legs. Left arm, right leg back. Release, and change sides. Release that, and change sides. Good, then lower your hand and your knee down. And then we'll come into cat-cow to mobilize the spine. So tip the sit bones up to the ceiling. Let your middle back, upper back sink into a back bend. Reach your heart forward, head up. And then round the buttocks to the backs of the knees. Round through your lower back, middle back, upper back. Look towards your navel. Breathe in into extension. And exhale into flexion. One more time. And exhale. Then walk your hands back towards your knees. Stand up on your knees. And let's mobilize the shoulders a little bit without the traps hiking up. So soften your traps. You have to bring your elbows forward in space. And then as you exhale, draw the elbows in towards each other. Look down. And as you inhale, open your heart, open your elbows, spreading the traps into the elbows. Exhale, draw the elbows in. Inhale, open up. Exhale, elbows in. Inhale, open up. Good, then release and step your right foot out in front of you. Take your arms straight out in front of you, palms together. As you inhale, grow tall through your spine like you're being pulled up through the crown of your head. And as you exhale, spin and open up to your right. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, spin open. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, open up and hold. Then look forward. Bring your hands down onto your right knee as you press down with your right hand into your knee. Move the left center buttock in and down as you lift through the front of your pelvis. And then we'll come into the hip flexor stretch, start to raise your left arm up. And if you really got the movement of the buttock and the pelvis right, you should feel a deep stretch from the hip fascia up through the shoulder, up through the fingers. Push down through this hand to this knee so you can lift through your lower back and the front of your pelvis. Then lean over to your right. Come back up and release. Oh, it felt nice. Okay, let's change sides. Take your left foot in front, right knee down, palms forward, and then we'll get the rotations going. So spin and open up, and back to center. When you spin and open up, think of growing taller, like a bottle cap unscrewing. One more time, and then we'll hold. And again, like you're pushing down into something with your hands, stand up tall through your spine without straining. Breathe. Then come back to center. Hands to the knee with the left hand down. Push down and move the buttocks to the back of the knee as you scoop up through the front of your pelvis. Now take your right arm up. And feel that deep, deep stretch through the hip up into the armpit. Reach it up through your pinky finger without straining your neck. So find just the right amount of effort. In all the poses, we want to balance out the effort to open up and to stretch with a feeling of release or surrender, a feeling of connecting to the space and the body at the same time. And then start to reach over to the side and then you feel the stretch. When you're feeling the deep stretch, it feels like there's no space, no more space to move. So now be there where you're feeling the barrier, and then just breathe into that. And see if you can find space in that barrier. And then you might be able to lean a little further. That's pretty cool. Come back up and release. So if you're used to always pushing, like you probably are, when you're stretching, that's not going to benefit you. You want to go to the barrier, not push, just be there and breathe into it. Okay, now bring your hands down. And then on your hands and your knees, we're going to practice a downward dog stretch. Now, if your hips and your shoulders are really tight, I'm going to recommend practicing this with your hands on a chair or at the wall, or you can even use blocks. But we're trying to make an inverted V shape. So as I curl the toes under and lift my knees and my hips up, we're going to try to make a long line from the ankles to the wrist to the hips. So you can also do this at a wall, just trying to make an L shape if your hips and your hamstrings are really tight, or you can do it with your knees bent, working on finding this line from your wrist to your hip. Okay, now walk your hands back to your feet. And as you inhale, slide your hands up your shins. Make a flat back. Exhale, slide your hands back down, let your head drop. Inhale, come up and spread your arms out to the side, rotate them externally. Bring your hips back over your ankles, and then as you press down through the four corners of your feet, raise your arms up. Then spread your arms out to the side, little bend in your knees, fold forward. Inhale, slide the hands up the shins, stretch the chest forward. Exhale, fold forward. One more time. Inhale, come up, reach through your feet. Raise your arms up. And exhale, fold forward. Then walk yourself out into a plank position. Taking a moment just to turn on the core muscles and to get long through the spine, working on your mountain pose line. So from your ankle to your hip to your shoulder to your ear. Then set your left knee onto the ground, left hand right underneath your shoulder, and open up to the side. Reach down through the left knee, feel the stretch through the armpit, through the shoulder. And then grow that mountain pose line from your back ankle to your shoulder to your hip to your ear. The weight of like carrying the pack and everything's making the posture wanting to go like this. So see if you can just open up while you're bearing a little weight on your arm. Then change sides, bring your right hand down, right knee down. Tendency will be for the shoulder to internally rotate. Let's work on rolling the shoulder open and then finding the line from your back ankle through your spine as you take your arm up. Feel the opening that's coming for your right leg hip. Breathe into that space. And then slowly bring your hand back down. Now stand up onto your knees again. And I'll show you this one from the side. Take your right foot out to the side. Hands on your hips. Grow tall through your spine like you're being pulled up. Wake up your spinal muscles. And then start to lean slightly towards your right ankle like you're doing a lunge. Bring your forearm onto your thigh. Take your left arm up. And then here we go. It's going to be a really nice stretch for the shoulder. Oh, bend your elbow. Slide your hand behind your head. Ooh. Now, where you're feeling the stretch all in your outer armpit, down through your side, visualize this like gills on a fish. And wherever it feels like it's closed off, breathe better into those gills. In your waist, in the back of the armpit, even in the side of the neck there. And as you start to free up that space for the intercostals, it will help with your lung capacity. So the health of a muscle is its ability to contract all the way and release all the way. So we want to keep everything moving really well so that we can be working towards optimal health. Come back up. Feels so good to get into that. And change sides. Take your left foot off to the side. And then start to lean towards your ankle a bit. Forearm onto your thigh. Right arm up. Bend your elbow, slide your hand behind your head. Okay, now mentally go right into where you're feeling the tension there. And breathe into your side gills. Then come back up, release that, and come back into your child's pose. This time with the arms back at your side. Then lie down onto your belly. And we're just going to do a little bit to strengthen the muscles in the back to help with posture and stretch the shoulders. So stretch your arms all the way forward, reach back through your toes, head down, reach past your fingers, wrap the outer shoulders down. Just a nice full body stretch here.
And then bend the elbows back into a cactus position. Turn on your external rotators on your arms so that your hands lift up. Pull the elbows away from the midline, and then lift your head up an inch, but decompress your spine. Reach back through your tail, forward through your crown. Slowly lower the hands down. Let them internally rotate, the shoulders that is, and then externally rotate the upper arms, lift back up. Then stretch your arms straight back behind you as you reach your heart forward. Lower your chest back down. Bring your hands by your ribs and then roll the heart forward. Little back bend in your upper back. And lower it back down. Come up onto your hands and your knees. Then we're going to come into seated L stretch. So if your hamstrings are pretty tight, then I recommend having a little bend in your knees and getting the lower back totally upright. You can even practice this one with your back against the wall. And gradually, you can start to let the thighs come down as long as the spine doesn't sink back. So get totally upright through the spine, and then visualize your sit bones like they're reaching down through the dirt, down through the earth's crust, towards the core of the earth, and then through your spine, from your navel up through the back of your palate, you're being lifted up into the clouds. Now keep that feeling with the hip flexors releasing, the hip creases descending. Take one arm up, and then the other. Sit bones growing down, spinal muscles from the navel up getting tall up to the roof of the mouth. And then slowly bring one arm down, keeping all that height, bring the other arm down. And then see if you can let your thighs drop another inch or two, still keeping that length of your spine. Good job. Then lie down onto your back, and you can use a couple of blocks for this next stretch. We're going to do a supine twist. Now, if you have any sacrum lower back issues, I'm going to recommend using the blocks to limit the amount that you twist so you can get better into opening your chest and your shoulders. And it'll tend to twist less in the sacrum lower back, which is kind of what we're looking for to help with the opening in the chest. So with the arms out, like I put a sandbag on your right shoulder, right ankle crossed over the left knee, slowly let your legs fall over to the left without losing the opening that you found in the front of the right chest and shoulder. And then you can just put the block underneath the foot or wherever you have. Something to limit how much your body can twist. And then breathe into all that stretch you're feeling in your chest and in your shoulder. Bring your legs back to center. Change the cross, left ankle over your right knee. Sandbag your left shoulder, and then slowly let the legs fall over to the right. But keep spreading the left chest through the left fingers. The navel softens into the spine. And then come back to center. Uncross. Hug your right knee into your chest and stretch your left leg out along the floor. Breathe into it. Don't try to jam your body any deeper. Just go right to where you feel that barrier and breathe into it. I have to keep reminding myself because that's my tendency too. Just want to try to go as deep as I can always, or really push for it. But that doesn't work so well in yoga. Change legs now. Bring your left knee in. And if you can tune into it, if you really practice well, if you practice mindfully, you might feel like this time that you spent in your body, you didn't find yourself off in your mind at all. You're fully in the body. So the practice, the whole thing is like a moving meditation. And spending time in meditation is so important. It's the antidote for all the stress that we're going through. Release that, and then we're just going to lie flat for a few moments of lying down meditation. It's called Shavasana, or corpse pose. So we allow the nervous system to adapt to all the stretching that we did and the deep breathing just by lying here with the palms turned up and the feet open, the whole body open, so that the channels, the energy channels in the body can open. And then I want you to practice training your concentration to your breath. Watch the breath going in and out through your nose, and become more in tune with the sensation in your body as the breath is coming in and out. Then gently bend your knees and roll over to your side. Press yourself up to seated. Sit up straight and tall and bring your palms together. Thanks. Namaste. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts, your comments, questions below. Also hit the like button and take a moment to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so that you won't miss any future videos. And also, I just want to take a moment to thank Glenn for reaching out to me to create this video. I hope that you'll benefit from this. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.